Hello, sweet friends. It's Sarah at Crochet.With.Coffee, and thank you so much for joining me for another WIP Wednesday. And we are working on our Persian tile blanket. We've got our first three squares, octagons. So that was last week, that was the week before, and the first week. So we've got our three today, ends still not woven in. And I have my iced coffee. How do you guys make iced coffee at home if you make it? And if you don't make iced coffee, what do you do with your coffee that's left over in your coffee pot if you don't drink everything? Because that's what this is. Stuff that I didn't drink earlier. So let me know what you guys do for your coffee goodness, or tea if you guys do anything different with tea if you don't drink all of your tea that you make. So let's get into our picks for today. So I think I liked how we broke everything up last week, and I think we're going to do it the same way this week, where we're going to do the center three colors, and then we're going to do, let me show you. We'll do the center three colors. We'll pick all of those at one time. And then we'll do those two colors, and then we'll pick the rest, and then meet back up for the remaining colors. So let's do that. I have decided today, this is what I feel like doing. I want to pick from the bowl. So we're going to take our picks, and we're going to put them in there. And we're going to do our picks this way. Oh, look, it's not shiny this time. That's good. All right, green apple for the center. Fun. All right. We've got toffee for the next row. And mustard for this row. Okay. So the first three are going to be green apple, toffee, mustard. So let's work that up. I'll show you what it looks like. And then we'll do our next picks for our little corn on the cob section. I don't know. Oh, and if you want to make this blanket with me, or if you are just interested in the pattern, that is in the description. It is a pattern by Janie Crow. She has things on YouTube, on Mary Maxim, on a bunch of different things. I have that linked in the description, so if you want to make this blanket, you can check that out. Oh, and another thing, look at my shirt. Do you like my shirt? This is from my friend at the Fabulous Empty Nest, Angie. She sent this to me, and I love it so much. I opened it, and I was like, all the things I love. It's green, and it's got granny squares, and I really think that they used this. That was kind of like, well, Angie, let me know where you got it from, because I forgot to ask you. But anyway, they look like the all-in-one granny squares. I love it. I'm so excited. So yeah, I just needed to pop that in there. Thank you so much, Angie. I love it so much. It's and I told her, I was like, I'm probably just gonna like exist in this all the time and just live in it, because it's comfy, it's cute. Granny squares. I mean, sometimes, like, I love granny squares. I love the look of granny squares, all of that. Sometimes I don't want to wear them, but in print, absolutely, all the time, every day, for sure. All right, so let's get started on our center of our octagon, and then we will meet back to show the progress of that. Here it is. I really like that one. All right, I've tallied up our picks, and I'm going to throw those in my jar for our next round. And now I'm going to pick our next two colors. So we've got chocolate brown and rust. All right, let's work up our little things on the top there. This section here, that right there. I'm gonna work those up. In our rust, wait, what did I do? I did first. I did chocolate and then rust. That's what I did. We're gonna do chocolate and then rust. Okay, here's the update. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. All right, so we now need to pick the rest of our colors and see what order these are going to be in. So we've got, you see it? Wine is our next color. And cinnamon. And our last one, this is going to be our first fan. So ivory. All right, so I think it was last week we had our first pick for ivory fan, and that was this one. So we had our ivory fan, and then when we do our repicks, then we will see what our second fan color is going to be. So let me go ahead and work this up, and we will check back in when we have our next 3 colors. So we are going to be doing wine, cinnamon, ivory. That's going to be really pretty. So I'll be back in a second. This is what it's looking like. This center might be my favorite. I don't know, but so far I'm really liking that with like the bright colors in the center. Might end up being my favorite. We'll have to find out. Okay, so what we're doing is we are keeping out the outside colors. So I am using the cinnamon and the green apple for all of the outside edges. So that is going to be staying out of our next picks. So we're going to remove that one and that one. And I did tally everything up. So then we also, I found out we need to keep the last 2 colors out. So the last color for the fan and then the surrounding color because the fan does connect to that one. So we're going to keep out the last 2 colors, which was cinnamon, and that's already a color that we're keeping out, and our ivory. So ivory, cinnamon, and green apple are staying out because those are our outside colors. Going to put wine back in here. Let's dump them back into the bowl. And we have 3 colors to pick still. So we've got our remaining fan color and then the color that goes, the 2 colors that go around the fans before our outside edge. Okay, so first the fan color. What is our next fan going to be? Wine. Okay, so we're going to have an ivory fan and a wine fan. All right, so the color that's going right outside the fans is going to be the rust color. And then the last color before our outside edges is going to be brown. Or what is it? Chocolate brown. All righty. This is going to be fun. Fun, fun, fun. I'm going to do our picks for our squares now too. So I'm going to write down our 3 colors. So we've got our fan is wine. We've got rust and chocolate brown. All right, so then we're going to do our two picks for our squares. We're doing 2 half squares again today. So our first half square is going to be, we need 4 colors. So first half square is going to be wine, chocolate brown, toffee, and mustard. All right, so the last few times we have done our half squares, the half squares have really matched each other. So I'm curious to see if they're going to do that this time too. I'm going to write these down real quick. All right, our second half square is going to be 4 colors, starting with toffee, mustard, rust. Ooh, what is the last one going to be? Let's see, what do I want? I feel like a chocolate or ivory would be really nice. So let's see. I think I would prefer chocolate, but let's see what we get. Oh, yay. Okay. So this last one, so our second square is totally different than our other one, is it? It's got 2 of the same colors. 3, whatever. It's okay, so it's gonna be toffee, mustard, rust, and chocolate. I'm excited. And you know, I really don't think I've been tallying everything every time. So I'm gonna have to go through and check those, make sure that I actually have tallied things properly, because I'm pretty sure my numbers are off. And I want to be accurate when we do our final thing at the end of the blanket, final reveal. All right, so let's get the rest of these colors on here and start with our little half squares. And we're gonna get that done, and I will pop back in when we are all done. So I still have a cat sleeping on my lap, and here are the here's the octagon center. I like that one a lot. I like all the orange. Would I have preferred more green? Yes, but I like that orange. Okay, and then for my 2 half squares, I like this one out of the 2. They're both really nice, but that one I think is my favorite. Love it. I'm going to put the borders on these, and I will check back in later so we can show so I can show you what those look like. I have been watching Ginger on the Yarn Geek. She is doing a tutorial on a scrap blanket, so a crocheted scrap blanket. It's really neat because it's like she's making individual squares and adding those to each other as she goes. So it's been fun to watch that while I'm crocheting. So kind of have her on in the background while I'm doing this. But let me put the borders on these and then we'll do a recap and I'll show you what we have for today. Okay, we're ready to show our octagon and our half squares. So here's the octagon. I really like this one. There's a lot of the red and the orange in here. Very pretty. And then here are our half squares. I still like this one the most. I think that's my favorite. So that is today's. And then before I leave today, I need to take a look at my yarn basket here. It's a little crazy. So I think I need to tidy this up. So I'm going to do that real quick and just figured we'd sit and chat while I do that. So are you guys making a blanket? Are you making a Persian tile blanket? Are you trying that out? Are you doing something different? What are you working on while you watch? I would love to know. I think this blanket is going to use up a lot more of this Yarn Bee green apple color. A lot more than I was assuming. So I'll show you once I get this all wound up what is left of one skein. So this is going to be my first skein that I'm using. And I think I'm going to use quite a bit more of this one. And I know it's like one of my main accent colors, but I didn't think I was using that much of it because it's just like single crochets for the most part. Although it is a smaller skein than all the other ones, so I guess maybe that makes sense. All right. Yeah, this is like tangled all inside the basket. On the outside of the basket, I really don't know what I have been up to make this all so crazy. Like we had a lot of tangles last week too, but that one was actually crazy. All right, so this is the end of that one. I've got that much left of this skein. I might get through next week with it, just depending on what we pick the green for. A little bit more tidied up there. Not too bad. I'm going to grab another of my green and throw it in here so I'm ready for next week if I need it. So here's a new skein of the green ready for next week if needed. That one we'll use first. So that was it for today. Thank you so much for joining me for our WIP Wednesday, and we're doing our mystery picks for our Persian tile blanket. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button if you would like to stay tuned for more yarn related fun that we have here at Crochet with Coffee. I post on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope you find joy in the little things.